Okay, welcome everyone to episode 7 of the Number One Rule Fantasy Podcast. You're here again today with Jackson, Tom.
G'day, guys.
How are we? And our special guest today, running our league in overall
No, head to
wins,
head.
head-to-head.
Mate,
Yeah, baby.
No,
No,
overall
course I
wins,
am.
but the overall champ sitting to
Yeah.
your right here, mate.
Either way, he's doing pretty good.
Not winning our
How
league
are-
with me in
How
it,
are
brother.
we today, everybody?
Good,
no,
mate,
I'm getting
good.
there.
Ready for an exciting
cried
week?
myself to sleep after TLT. Like yesterday,
Like
with
we
all the
all did,
changes I
yes.
got to do. So
It was a horrendous TLT. So
Yeah.
many boys out.
Yeah. How did we do last week, boys?
I
Good
think you
scores?
top with the scores, Jacko,
Yes.
last week. You had a not too
Yes.
bad week, so
Correct, I did.
yeah.
We all did pretty good though. I mean,
Considering the amount of injuries and the low scores that everyone got, if you're cracking 800 last week, you're going very well.
yes.
I ended up on 824. Teddy and Moses really let me down with 30 scores, but I moved heaven and earth to get Teddy. That was a bit disappointing. And then you had your Katoas let you down, me personally. Even Bestie was down, but we'll get into him a bit later anyway. So,
That was,
and the Hammer seemed to be a big trap door. So yeah, that was for me anyway.
Wow. Daniel?
I ended up
How'd you
on 837. So actually
good.
moving my ranking from 10,000 to 7,000.
Oh, jeez, which one was going
7,900,
down?
so
I've
that's
gone
good.
from 500 to 2,094 and 2,946 in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
the same with you
absolute
though. A few
nightmare.
letdowns though as
Yes.
well.
Well, you've had the cable injury and everything like that doesn't help. So,
How'd you go, Jacko?
Solid scores. 857. So could have been a lot higher again, like you guys had Carrigan, Katoa, Teddy and Moses. They let me down, but Drinky and Grant, and I had Clark as well. He got a 46, which was
Yeah.
pretty
I'm
solid.
glad I kept Drinky in there as well. So
yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good keep.
100%.
I think it was a smart sell, to be quite honest, but then he pulls that out. But anyway, yeah, when you have two of your highest players in Moses and Teddy only combined
Getting-
for like 70,
It's pretty
when
bad.
they should, when you're wanting them to get 70 by themselves, I mean, it's never going to be a great week.
It's hard
so.
to watch.
But yeah,
Um,
let's as I say in another podcast, let's stop looking in the rear view and start going through the windshield.
Exactly. So
Let's move into these teamless Tuesday nightmares, as I like to say.
here we go.
Rightio. Thursday night, we're kicking off round 7 with the Rabbitohs and the Panthers at Jubilee Stadium in Sydney. So we'll go through a team each, I guess, in order. I might have a look at the Panthers. So no major changes from last week. They played pretty good, beating the Storm. Who we got? Edwards didn't do too bad on his first round back. I don't think I'd be getting him
rushing
just
him in.
yet.
No, definitely
Not a fan.
Luai seems to have held his spot in the halves with Cleary. I think that win last week definitely helped his chances.
I think he keeps the spot, but if you still own him, and I still do, I'm tempted to get him out. Like, he just needs a 50-pointer, and then he gets his scores back going
Yeah.
again. But yeah, definitely not an urgent sell.
I think
with the
it's
amount
time
of
to move
spot
on and
fires.
upgrade there.
Yeah, if you got other things to do, definitely not.
No, definitely, yeah.
exactly right. But
yeah. But yeah, apart from that, there's not too much happening. Yo's still doing his thing.
Yo's still doing his
I feel
absolute
like he's
thing.
locked himself in as a keeper second row.
Yeah, I'm glad I jumped
Among
on him when I
others.
did. So
Coruscant, definitely keep him still as well. Just ticking along. But yeah, in terms of new buyers, like there's not really much happening.
Unless somehow Burton gets his way in and we still break even, that's even debatable. So
You still would.
I wouldn't be jumping anyone in unless you need a actual superstar half in Cleary. So other than that, James Fisher-Harris is definitely a pod maybe as well. You could be jumping on, but probably losing some
Not as
minutes.
consistent
Yeah,
as
not
Yo.
guaranteed the minutes. And if you don't have Appy Coruscant, delete that.
Yeah.
I'll go through the Rabbitohs. Look, Mitchell was a get in for me this week, but I just don't know how I'm going to get him in this week. I've got that many spot fires to fill out. James Roberts named in the 17. Campbell Graham was actually going very well score-wise for a centre, but I don't think he'll keep that spot with Roberts on the bench. Cookie raised the 100 last start. So, I mean, look, if you can afford him, if you can afford Cookie, good luck to you, because I've got that many spot fires he can't even count. Jane Sewer for me is probably about a sell right now. His average scores 40.5 and his BE is about 41, so he's not an urgent sell, but I think he's made his cash. Good on to you if you went with him. He
you
made
don't
a
have
fair
other
bit of
problems,
cash. Yeah. Made 113k. Definitely could have and seen worse. So Other than that, Latrell Mitchell seems a pretty good centre option. Playing out the back seems to really hit his straps. Other than that, Cam Murray's are probably smoky, but I've got bigger problems than bringing in Cam Murray at the moment. So, yeah, I think that's it for the Thursday night game. Should be a good game of footy, though.
Anything to add on that, Daniel?
No, nothing. It's good to see Broncos are not on the Thursday night.
Yeah, how good.
It's about time.
It's actually been pretty good to text the Broncos supporters and really get up them on Thursday night, ruin their Friday. But anyway.
Yeah. Radio, Friday night, Storm and Warriors again, Jubilee Stadium, Sydney.
Yeah, it's been moved due to the COVID scare.
Yeah, what do you think about the Storm, Dan?
Well, I'm kind of sick of Papi at the back there. I think I'm giving him one more week.
Can I just say, Jacko, sorry to interrupt, Dan. We've said on this pod, I've said 3 weeks in a row. If you go back, I'll give Pappy one more week. And literally, I'm telling you right now, this is the last
He's got to be a
week.
sell. I mean,
against
the
battered Warriors side. It is the last.
If this TLT devastation didn't happen, he was definitely gone.
But
so I'm struggling to make a 17. So he has to be in there.
To be fair though, Dan, me and you are both owners. Like we've just had other problems to deal with, and you've just hoped that he's hit his strap. He hasn't yet. This is the week.
Everyone else has him too.
Yeah,
predominantly. So
yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
Anything else? Really, nothing really.
Nothing really.
Jerome Hughes comes back in the side.
Yeah, he's back in the side.
Cam Smith, if you got him, good luck to you. But there's probably two better hookers than him in.
I actually really like Cam Smithy right
He's
now.
a bit of a pod, isn't he?
He's a bit of a pod, but I think if you're going to get a hooker, it's got to be Cookie or McInnes really, doesn't it? So
save on a bit if you want to go Smithy.
Exactly right,
Warriors, big news this week. Very sad news with Katoa being out.
3 weeks minimum.
I got Katoa, you got Katoa?
I got
Katoa.
Everyone's got Katoa, and it's rubbish. So he's out for how many weeks?
Physio in NRL physio said up to
minimum 3 weeks. Yeah.
So probably sell. Definitely sell, I'd say.
Yeah,
hard to.
He's pretty much with that rubbish score last week. He's kind of his break even's gone a bit yuck as well.
It's up to 32, but mate, look, you've made 306k on him if you've jumped on him early. So
I think if you had second row cover, which a lot of people don't, you might.
No,
which is me.
But
I think
I'd sell.
I think for someone, unless it's an out and out superstar like your Clearys where you can hold for 2 weeks, but if you can upgrade, I think 3 weeks is just too much.
Yeah, if you don't see him in your own team,
especially with a guy that's like inconsistent with the Warriors as well, you just don't know what they're doing with the new coach and everything.
Yeah.
So
Jermaine,
JTB, anyone?
JTB,
both of you guys
yeah,
are owners from
since day dot.
Daniel's an option. Daniel's an owner.
He's still got his spot.
Disappointing
last week, but he's a points per minute hero.
If he's starting, there's no reason to move him on. And with Carrigan going down to well, it's definitely a handy chuck in if you need to there. So.
I saw Jack Murchie. He had one good score last week, but then I looked at his previous scores, not so good.
Yeah, well, he hasn't been getting the minutes, but here's the deal: his job security is about as reliable as the ice cream machine at McDonald's. You have no confidence in it. So he's probably a good footy player, but I wouldn't be jumping on him just yet.
Don't rush onto him.
And I wouldn't be touching a lot from the Warriors or bringing someone in. Rogers been very disappointing.
Well, I was going to say Tohu Harris. He's been very.
He's
been very well this year.
He is actually awesome. The only thing with Tohu is a good pot option, but there's definitely better in the
there's just better
second
options.
row and not too much more expensive either.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
if you need a pod later, it's just it's not my cup of tea, unfortunately.
Good points. Moving on to second game on Friday, Roosters and Dragons.
I'll cover the Roosters if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Jacko, look, Tedesco, for me, I know we're going to have a little bit... I need him to play.
I reckon he'll play.
I don't. I just 6 days off a head knock where he got steamrolled by the Fijian boy.
After that game, he looked fine on the bench after the game. He looked sweet. So,
but do you need him against the Dragons?
I need him against.
We all need him.
Here's the deal. Do we need him? Do the Roosters need him? That's the thing. And I think if they're gonna give him a break again, it's gonna be this week. So just keep an eye on that and just watch your loops for Teddy. Like if you've got a wing fullback, I'll just really look at that. Like you're not going to know.
Just in case. Yeah.
You're not going to really know until either prior to kickoff or the day before. I'm assuming the day before you might know after Thursday night. But
so you're saying have him on your reserves?
Well, yeah, if you can.
So if you can,
just so you can get him out. Well, if you've got the cover, Jacko, and if you've got to pay someone, because seriously, it's 50-50. Other than that, mate, Cole Flanagan. Absolutely
mate.
One of Daniel's. I wish I started. We nearly did. Remember that conversation?
Yeah. I actually really want him this week.
Yeah,
just as a bit of a pod in our head-to-head because he
Head-to-head.
is not in anyone's teams, I don't
exactly
think.
right.
So.
He's been banging out 60+ scores. You've got who else you got? You got Angus Crichton's been absolutely on fire. But just be wary.
Scoring
He's not
tries, yeah.
He's not going to be scoring tries every week, so just be wary of
It's
that.
been inconsistent in previous years. So.
Other than that, the Roosters are an absolute gun team, and it's going to be hard to beat them. But fantasy-wise, there's not a crazy amount relevant.
Nah.
Yeah, so
Nah.
just as we all say, pray for Teddy. Come on.
Pray for Teddy.
Dragons, Daniel. What are your thoughts on the Dragons?
Mate,
Any-
I haven't got too many
any key
thoughts. No key points for me. I'm very sorry for those owners that have Fui Mayano.
Am I the only one?
Unfortunately,
Am I the only one here that
Yes.
owns
that
him?
sucks for you. And I can't
Mate,
believe you
had
actually played him
such-
last week.
mate,
So
last time he played back row, he
I would
got
ne-
69, and he's like, at least he got a 30 for me. But seriously, mate, he just doesn't look interested.
interesting input though. Jason Saab onto the wing for the Dragons.
He's just
He-
covering
yeah,
Pereira.
he
though.
was
For
a-
2 weeks.
he
Well,
was-
if he can.
He was a lookout at the start of the season for
He
everyone.
was
so.
my gun cheap at the start of the year. The Dragons won't play him. Mate, can you imagine kicking over to him? It's not going to be another
Still
coach
base
situation.
price.
Definitely worth. You can't bring him in just because he's only in for Pereira, who's out for 2 weeks. So I would love to be able
And he's
to.
probably not going to score that well against the Roosters.
Yeah,
let's be honest.
exactly. And he's
Still
playing,
very-
playing with the Dragons. But
An
definitely
option.
a good cash out option.
An
Mate,
option.
just quietly before we move on, other than that, there's not much really else besides your guns like McInnes and stuff. Mate, Zach Lomax.
Oh, he's killing it.
Mate, he's just. I was considering trading him for 2 weeks, and now I just look back going, "What are you doing?" He's just pumping out the scores.
He's a keeper centre.
Keeper centre. If you average 44 on the centres, mate, I'll take that any day of the week.
Yeah, I think ideally you want to be having Lomax, Best, or Latrell as your centre
Any
combinations.
centres,
Any of
and then-
them, and that's your keepers
Yeah,
for the rest
exactly
of the year.
right.
I reckon.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Since Capel went down at least. So.
Yeah. So
Other than that, big takeaway from that game is Teddy, please take the field.
yeah.
Pray for Teddy.
Pray for Teddy. Yeah. Happy days. Next game,
Ah,
the
me.
Blues
Cowboys.
and the Knights on Saturday afternoon, 3:00, up in Townsville.
Daniel
So-
have covered his cows, I guess.
Yeah, I'll have a look at the Knights, Dan. You can look at the Cows. So, Knights, they got Ponga at the back still. Big news this week with Bradman and Best out on COVID protocols, which is a bit of the pain in the arse.
See, I thought he did something real sketchy. Apparently, only went and visited his mum and dad,
Yeah,
the poor
exactly.
bugger, so
which
you
is a
can't really hold that
disappointment
against him.
to
But
coaches. His cover in Tuala is only going to be there really this week.
In-
Wait, is it Shiba?
he's
think
Tuala's
it's
come in
Shiba.
for Shiba came in last week for Tuala, but just a little bit of insider,
Either or.
not an insider information on 360 last night. They had the coach on, and they were saying that if they just let Tuala have a break. So they let Tuala have a break and Shibasaki coming against his old club. So don't be rushing either of them to him because it looks
Exactly.
like the O'Brien's going to be rotating Tuala and Shibasaki and having Best stay there. So don't be jumping on any of these because you just don't
Yeah.
know who's going to get the spot.
Exactly.
Bit
If
of
you picked
inside
up
goss.
Pierce last week, you did pretty
Oh,
well.
good
He
on
was a
him.
bit of a smoky. He's still pretty cheap.
Do you trust him not to get injured?
Probably
That's the
not.
thing.
Probably not. McCulloch, I was nearly going to buy McCulloch in the end. I'm
same.
glad I didn't.
45, but
He got a 45.
Watson due back soon. I wouldn't be jumping on yet. I think
Yeah.
you've missed the boat. You're out swimming to the boat
Exactly.
if you're trying to get on now.
Exactly. And then the biggest talking point, I think, for me this week in terms of trades is to try and get in is Sione Matautia, someone who I should have got 2 weeks ago.
I'm back with you there, Jacko.
Listened to my missus and got him, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, she called it, did she?
Yeah,
called it
2
2
weeks
weeks
ago,
ago.
before we started filming.
And I got
wow.
I got Best instead, and now look where I'm at.
Yeah.
So
It's a tough one though. Like he's in one of my definite options this week, but it's like you
What's
don't
the
have a lot of
negatives, like,
data.
man.
I'll tell you what the negative is. Last year when he got
His
18
head-
HORs, yeah, exactly
He's
right.
wearing headgear now, brother.
He's got
Yeah,
headgear.
mate, I don't care. I don't care if he's wearing
He's
a bloody.
protected.
I don't care if he's wearing a gridiron helmet. He's still getting concussed. But
Great
Oh,
DPP
God.
option
look,
too.
honestly, it could be a lot worse. But I mean, look, you could get a lot worse centers as well. It just he burnt me last year. You know when you have that bad taste in your mouth. So
He's like a Capewell, but he's just not as proven yet.
Yeah, well, that's
he is
exact-
proven, but he could get
yeah,
injured,
exactly.
so.
He's gonna be a very popular player. So.
Only
Yeah.
at 522 at the moment. He's a cheap second row.
And yeah,
Option.
You could play him in
He's got
second
his
row,
break-even
centre.
there. His break even's pretty low
Still
too.
I
pretty
think it's
low.
9 at the moment.
Yeah, so, well, low anyway.
Averaging 47.
But if he's banging out 50s in the second row, he could be like keeper cover for
So,
second.
yeah,
centre
definitely.
row.
Like, and he's gonna make money. His break
Have him on
even's
your bench
break
like
even's
next week.
12.
100%.
It's whatever your cup of tea is, really. If you need a
Yeah.
center, it could do a lot worse.
Exactly. So Daniel Cows.
Cowboys, not too many. Not
Did you
many.
get Fido? Fido.
Yes, the Hammer.
The Hammer.
Definitely
I didn't even
did.
attempt it. I didn't even attempt his name anymore.
Unlucky.
I was very disappointed in the Hammer. I think -1 at the half or something like.
-4.
-4 at the half.
He
He
wasn't
did bring it
-5
back.
at one
To be
stage.
fair though, you were down 34-4. I mean, no fullback's going to make points.
I ended up stopped watching that match because I was just disappointed in the boys. But I can see here
not-
that Granville has wriggled himself back into the
reserves.
side, playing
Just
at
to the reserves
21.
there, yeah.
Oh yeah, just in reserve. Sorry, Hampton there, Cotter back as well.
Dan, can I just go back to the the Hammer?
I wanted
It's
to
still not.
get past
Yeah,
that.
Yeah,
move
no,
on.
it's still not hopeless though. He still gets his spot at fullback. He's still got a BE of 6. It's only going to take a 40 bomb for him to
Please
really.
don't buy him.
Yeah.
Break even on 5. Yeah.
Breaking yeah. So like, look, could do a lot worse. He hits 40, he makes 50k. So
And you think he's
It's-
going to get 40?
well,
He did the
I
other
never
week.
said that, but I just said if he does.
He could.
Trust
Okay.
in
Put
the
it this
Hammer,
way:
Jacko.
if you have him, pray in him. But if you don't, there's definitely better options. That
I
we'll
think
go
he'll
to.
be in my starting side this week.
Well,
for
he
sure.
has to be for me. I
Mm.
don't see.
Oh, yeah,
how he's
yeah,
not.
that's a
Yeah.
good point. He's good.
Yeah.
It's a good fullback cover for those who picked him up.
Reece Robson, Dan, fan of him?
I am a big fan of him. If he was still playing 80, if he plays 80, he's going to be a magic man for us. But they've got Reuben Cotter on the bench, Benny Hampton. Don't know what they're really doing with him off the bench. So if he can get 80, I wouldn't bring him in. I'd keep him as he is.
I
at
want
the
to kind
moment.
of have a little smoky for you guys. I've kind of been thinking of Mitch Dunn.
No.
I've seen
look,
a few
I'm
people
not
say
saying
this.
that I'm going to
Saw him
get
today,
it. Yeah.
And I looked. If you look at his.
Where'd you see him? At
his-
Coles or?
No.
Oh, on the app. Sorry, mate. Sorry.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah,
Sorry.
God. Sorry, scores today. He look at his previous scores. I think he had one good week because I thought the same thing. I thought let's get him, but
Well, look, it says here last 3 average 27, average 25.
Yeah, no, I get
which
that.
is yucky.
You're just going off his last score,
I'm
aren't
not
you?
saying. I'm not
And
saying he's a.
I mean, I'm no Cowboys supporter, but is McLean not going to be taking his spot and pushing him back to the bench when he comes
McLean's not taking a back row spot. He's going to front row.
McLean named on the
in?
reserves.
Is he?
Yeah, 100%. The only person that McLean's the front
missing
rower.
then?
No one's missing. They've dropped Cooper to the bench. That's what I'm saying. So I'm not saying he's a definite buy this week. I'm just saying if he starts banging out consistent 40s at his price, it's
and
definitely a look.
So if you don't
He's
think
an
Cooper
option,
will
but-
start again, no.
Well, Cooper's been on the bench for 3 weeks now. So
I just want to see some more
Okay.
stats from
Oh,
Mitchie
100,
Dunn.
no, I'm not saying he's a trade this week. I'm just saying it's definitely keep him in your favourites box.
Okay, yeah, he's an option. Yeah.
Jacko's had enough. Let's move on.
Let's
Sorry.
move on.
Yeah, okay.
Get out of
I'm not
Cowboys.
I'm not gonna argue. Yeah. Yeah, cool. Cowboys, love it.
He hates him, mate.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, mate. Before
Match of the round.
Before we get into any fantasy
Do you wanna
relevancy
cover the Titans, Dan?
no, I'm covering the Titans. Before we get into any fantasy relevancy, Titans at $3.25 is excuse my language, a fucking steal. If anyone loves a bet
Yeah.
out here, I'll be chucking some coin on the Titans at $3.25, especially with Flegler and Carrigan out. But I'll let someone else photos that. So for the Titans, Corey Thompson comes back from his jaw injury. Nothing too crazy there to bring in. You've got to Jacko's absolute dismay.
Disgust.
Aaron Clark's been dropped. When did you get him? When did you get him in?
Oh.
I got him actually at the start.
Yeah.
Not the start, but before he actually did anything.
I texted
which was good.
Jacko when the TLTs came out. 'cause
Yeah,
I knew he
inside
was-
knowledge here.
I knew he was working, and Jacko goes, "I'm deleting the app."
He's
I
still
didn't-
got he's still got a negative break even, so
You know, it's not an urgent sell, but he's not playing. I don't see
Yeah.
bringing him in. Yeah, what worries me is just Tyrone Roberts in the reserves, just hiding down the back there, might take Fogarty's position. Even though I still think, Ash Taylor should be the one dropped. He gave away 5-7 tackle restarts last week. So
yeah.
Fogarty
And smiles about it.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, don't
happy about it.
get me started on there. Fogarty absolutely killing it lately. Got 49 last week, and then 46 the week before. So
I
seriously,
love that from Fog.
he was my number one rule a couple of weeks ago. So it just keeps putting it. Good little player too. So -5 BE. So if he pops out another 40, you're making 52k off the bat into 470.
And he
so
started at base price.
and
pretty
he
much.
started at actually base price. So
Yeah, still solid this week though. No changes to Fogarty being on the bench or anything.
well, that's
Or
what I was
getting
just
kicked off.
saying. I'm worried about
I
Tyron
hope he
Roberts
plays.
possibly coming in, but just keep an eye out for that. But
Plays minutes.
I'll be keeping him because I've got to, even if he gets a red dot in the end. But yeah, look, another big target for me, possibly if I can figure out something now
How
to get
big?
him in.
How big? Very big.
Front row, big kahuna,
Okay.
big. Mo Fodawaker is absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely someone you got to get.
Mr.
Honestly,
Mo.
you've
Under
re-
700k too.
yeah, 100%. You've got to start. You've got to look at Mo as a legit cut
Stats
price
we got there,
keeper.
Daniel.
I think he still stays on me. Break even at 27, price of 695.
Average of 57.
Last
Last three,
three?
average of 60.
Yeah, exactly right.
Let's
Oh
go.
my
Mate, his
God.
last three scores. His last
695?
let me read out the last four scores for you. 75, 55, 61, 64. I mean, it's just you're not
Doesn't
getting
get much
you're
better.
not going to get much better than that.
He is
And
carrying that forward pack.
averaging around that 62 minute mark.
And there's not
So-
many front row options.
No,
apart-
especially not the cut price type.
Haas
So
and Twile were the main two
if
until
I
Twile got
can
injured.
if I can field 17 and bring him in, it's probably a big shout from me.
It's-
So other than
It's
that,
game over, baby.
nothing really.
The
Yeah,
Broncos?
nah.
Does anyone want to talk about the Broncos? or
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I guess
Oh, well,
I
if
guess
you
we've
wanna
got
talk about
to.
Tessie
I
New,
guess
yeah.
we've got to.
Talk about Tessie New, Dan.
I
What do you
don't want
reckon?
to talk about him. You pretty much talked me out of it. Was a break even up in the 40s. He's only base price. Not going to lose you money, but he's gonna not even going to get break even. I
He would
believe,
have
so.
to do really well to make money.
I've got a bit of info. I did a bit of research. He wasn't a big fantasy scorer in Q Cup either. So you've just got to and look.
Yeah.
He's not realistically. Even if he does score 60 or 50, he's only going to go up 10,
And
20k.
if the Bronx lose to the Titans, what's saying they don't just switch
That's
Asako
exactly what I'm
back
saying.
next
And
week?
Tynes is a real big smoker to win. Big news is Carrigan's out for a week. Definitely a hold for me.
Yeah, I'm holding as
Yeah,
well.
you got to hold.
Yeah,
He's-
3.42% of people have traded
which is
Carrigan this
crazy.
week. Just crazy.
I see him as a keeper. I really do. You can maybe upload him late.
Car price
but
could be, yeah, for sure. I don't think a lot of people
I
have
don't
him.
really see changes. Big one for a couple of guys. Corey Pakes strained his pec, so he's nearly a red dot from now on. Turpin will be back before
Turpin
he
back
is.
soon.
So-
July, they say.
Exactly right. So
Is New the most bought person this week?
Yeah, 3.3%.
Which is
Wow,
crazy.
that's crazy.
They mustn't have. Anyway, don't. If you you could get a lot worse if you need centre coverage. I guess if you're desperate and you can only afford a bottom pace price. But I'd be waiting a week.
If
2
you want to go
weeks,
bottom,
because
go.
you just with the Broncos at the moment, you just don't know who's playing. Like who knows that Milford? They don't bring Dearden in and put Milford back out the back. That's my thing. So definite wait and see for me.
Jamil Hopper-Whitey back on the interchange.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, if you didn't sell him, it's definitely one more week for Jamil, I guess. So
yeah,
'cause
close
he's
to a
still got
silver.
a negative BE. So.
One person I want to have a look at is Xavier Coates as well.
New
Because I think a
fastest
lot
man
of
in the
people saw what he did last week and might be getting a little bit excited. But
New quick men.
Yeah, quickest guy on the NRL.
yeah, I put a thing up today. His averages over the last couple of weeks isn't that good, and he's scored tries in both games. So even though he's cheap and his break even is probably good,
He's a big body, but he's not really sideways.
his
agile.
break even is 2. So yeah,
But he's not that tackle breaking type of player. from
nah,
the week. So like,
he's
if
jump
he
up, score a
scores,
try.
he's great, and if he gets 100-meter intercept, it's great. But you're not going to get those base stats. So yeah,
So a few people purchased him this week. I think we can see.
There's a
But
cheapie coming up that we both like over him as well. So
moving
definite
on.
wait and see. Moving on. Go
Lovely.
the Titans.
Go the Titans. Okay, Saturday night, Raiders and Eels, first verse fifth.
Should be a good game, this one.
Well, if the Raiders pull their fingers out, it should be a good game.
Yeah, I think the Eels.
Only change for the Eels is Nathan Brown got suspended again. He's
we
again-
said that a couple of weeks
Yeah,
ago.
exactly
Didn't we?
right.
Get him.
He's a
but-
good little scorer, man, but he's a bit like Tavita. You just can't trust him to not
No, he's a
be
psycho.
suspended. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that as a footy player. Just fantasy wise, it just
He's not
you
good.
just can't have him in your team.
Yeah, so the Eels, who we got, Gutho still at fullback. The back line's looking pretty similar. Moses, unfortunately, had a bad score last week. Hopefully he can bounce back.
The only real buy is Madison if you really want him to be. Quite
Yeah,
honest.
Madison in the second row. Apart from that, they're pretty much unchanged.
The lowest score of the whole year, Matto, is 52.
Yeah, that's nice.
Crazy stuff.
Crazy. He's so overlooked, I reckon.
Mr. Consistent.
Raiders are unchanged.
Raiders unchanged as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, back on the same. How's your man Tarpany going, Tom?
Mate, can I just say just quietly?
He's
I
been a
get-
bit of a pod.
From everything I
Good
hear,
pod.
like in all the pages and all the other things I listen to, no one mentions him. Mate, he is an absolute beast. He's averaging 50 points flat, got a BE of a 33,
Yeah, how much
and
money
he's
he
made
made?
145k
Well,
since,
good-
and I've had him
good
since
picking.
round 1. So, mate, I'll be getting I don't know if I'll be jumping off him anytime
Yeah, I think
soon.
him and Flanagan a bit underrated there.
Exactly
so.
right.
Yeah.
And like I know Horsburgh's killing it and stuff like that, but just Mr. Consistent hasn't missed a game.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, Raiders Eels going to be a good game, but in terms of fantasy relevancy, not too much happening there.
unless you've already got players. So yeah.
Yeah. Not last game. Moving towards the back end of the round, Sunday afternoon. Manly versus my team, the Sharkies, which aren't doing too well at the
I'm
moment.
not the
You barely got past the Dogs.
Yeah. Do you want to have a look at Manly, Dan, and see what you like?
I'll just
what
jump
you
in
don't
really
like?
quickly.
Oh, Tom, righto.
How good is it when I told ya not to trust Turbo? How good is that? Never trust. I say it all the time. I never trust anyone with like.
You're like the only one who doesn't have him. So
I know,
annoying.
and it's absolutely great. It's less headache for me. But I just don't trust anyone with soft tissue injuries in the hamstrings. They can just go at any point.
He called it at the start of the season, didn't
I
he?
did. I said, mate, I'm not trusting Turbo. I don't care what happens because his ceiling is 70 and he can go down to 30, and then he got a bad hamstring. So anyway, I just wanted to just do my little shout there, Dan.
Yep.
Yeah, so Brendan Elliott moves to fullback there. Nothing really there unless you got Daly Cherry Evans is a big target for a lot of people. Lachlan Croker.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on him?
Croker, yeah, he's okay, but just keep in mind Custer's on the interchange, and Croker played good last week, but
Croker played 77 minutes last week.
didn't really have a choice. Yeah.
And still only had 33. So
and
31.
Custer's definitely going to get minutes off him.
Yeah.
In the half. So
I'm a big Cust fan, so
He's
yeah.
definitely
He looks good on paper,
You've
Croker,
nearly
but
kind of... Well, you don't have to because Croker's still the 241 mark, but I'd be waiting. There's just to wait and see how they're going to play him.
I think there's just better cheapies this week.
Yeah.
Tapau's back.
Tapau's back. Is Brad Parker still got named after that nasty head
he
knock?
got
So
whacked.
that's not fantasy relevant, I guess.
Dylan Walker out, so
Dylan Walker out, yeah.
Marty Tapau, I know a couple of people do have them that listens, so that's probably a good in. Definitely, wouldn't buy him by any means, but funny how Gerbo's not really spoken
Yeah,
about
JK
him.
hasn't
Like he's
been,
still averaging 52, but
Better options.
there's just better options in the
Yeah.
second row, like we said before.
hasn't been relevant really this year so
Yeah.
far.
All of those ins are definitely a wait and see. Brent Elliott's a stock sanded fullback,
Yeah.
really good player, but he's a good player.
You reckon
but
he's a good player?
I reckon he is. But I just, he's not a turbo. Don't get me wrong, but he's just not that fantasy relevant.
Definitely not. Okay, moving on to the Sharkies.
Talking about hamstrings out the back.
Yeah, so Bryson Goodwin, after a good game last week, he scored pretty good. Only major change in...
Just
not really a change,
Can I
but...
just say, how are you not starting Rudolph? Like, seriously.
Yeah, put him on the side.
Yeah.
Jack Williams, what a disappointment. If you still have Jack Williams, sell now.
No one has Jack Williams.
Mate, better
Hope
not.
not.
Oh my
That's
God.
what I thought I said
Blake
about
Brayley's
William.
got 80 minutes back. I got rid of him.
He played good.
Lighting the
Hey,
world
he
on
Do you
got-
fire.
still got him, Jacko?
Yes.
Oh,
And
what
what
a
did he
word.
get? He got 45 last week, didn't he? Like I told you.
Is that his highest score for the year?
80-minute hooker
No,
getting
but
45.
He's making money
It
still.
might be his highest scoring thing.
I think he's a
When
trade,
on your
Jacko.
No.
Got to get rid
What's
of
the
him.
average, Jacko? 39.7.
Break
for an
even
80-minute
is
hooker.
still 28, so he's making money, boys.
Okay.
Got a lot of faith in Brayley.
Okay, agree to disagree there.
Who else isn't? Would you get Bryson Goodwin? Is he a buy?
No.
Just wanted to ask that.
That's from the
He
Sharks
did
fans,
score
man.
well, and
Oh, he scored two. Didn't he scored one or two, didn't he?
Oh, I know. I just meant it like as he was a bit of a change last week to the team, and he's just a new inclusion since he got
Put it
moved
this
to the
way,
Sharks.
I wouldn't be.
But no, I wouldn't buy him.
I wouldn't be
He just
getting
played
any.
good.
The way the Sharks are going, I wouldn't be getting anyone
No.
besides keeping Rudolph.
No, I think
not even
Katoa.
for feeders.
Did
then.
Katoa get a good score?
Yeah, he was
Scored
the,
3 tries.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
scored. He was one of the
He
top
was on
scorers, like 70
odds.
something.
Yeah, 70 odds.
Yeah,
but
with a few
Is he
tries,
going to
but-
score? Is he going to score 7 a game? 3 a game?
Yeah. Well, last 3 averaged
No.
53, so he's feeling himself.
Yeah. Apart from that, though, yeah, both teams.
Bit of a lackluster game to
Yeah.
in the Sunday, to be quite honest.
And the very last game is the Bulldoggies against the West Tigers Sunday afternoon. What do you make of the Tigers, Thomas?
Mate, the Tigers. First things first. If you don't have Harry Grant, you can just stop listening now because
As
we
you
don't
say.
want
You've
you.
missed a boat.
Like, I don't care if we lose followers. If you don't have Harry Grant, seriously, get your life in check. It's just, it's not funny.
D-League.
-6 still. It's ridiculous. Other than that, there's Tommy Talau comes back into the side on the wing. He's a cheapy option. That is definitely.
What's his security like? Can you tell
Oh,
me
he's,
that?
I
'Cause
think
need
that
to know.
well, Jennings was dropped. I think Jennings got a little bit of an injury as
Someone
well.
else
But
got...
I think they like Talau over him because he played the week before, but then had a bit of a hammy complaint himself.
Okay.
I won't be getting him because there's a soft tissue injury complaint. Yeah, look, he's not bad. Look, he got a good score of 46 last time. That was in the
Yeah.
centres though. Oh no, he played wing last time. I do apologise. He's probably a little option. Alex Twal is probably the big one for he's out from 3 to 6
he looked
weeks.
like a keeper.
Yeah,
Row,
well,
didn't
mate.
he?
Well, it was him or Yo for me. I'm glad I actually went the other way. But
Yeah.
other than that, Luciano is still clicking through for you, Dan. You still
He's
I
still
sold
clicking.
him.
He's just getting over his break even still, so I'll
Probably
still
nearly
taking that
sell
money. And
soon.
he was actually on my hit list this week to sell, but due to
Injuries. Yeah.
certain circumstances, I've got to get rid of him.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Oliver Clark and
Keep
and
him,
Matthew. Pardon?
Sorry,
I've already
said, yeah.
traded Luciano. Oliver Clark and Matthew how do you say his last name? Tigers backs lock. Matthew Eisenhuth, I think.
That's it.
Yeah.
Both not too bad, but obviously again, how much minutes they playing? Probably just wait 1 week to see how their rotation is.
Mm-hmm.
But Oliver Clark, God, I'm having a struggle. Is a front rower that if you need front rowers, not a bad punt. Probably won't light the world on fire, but just got to have a look there. Other than that,
cheapy.
You'd be laughing if you had Dewey. He's been making money too.
Dewey,
so-
yeah. Some guys, I know Jaden.
Well,
has
he doesn't
Dewey.
have that. Mate, honestly, if he had that, if he had that DPP for centre, I'd be all over him. But he just
Oh.
doesn't. I just got better options. Really.
Yeah.
Not for him. I've proven a proven scorer too. That's an option.
Yeah.
But moving on to the dogs.
The doggies.
What's the dogs looking like, Jacko?
So the doggies. They're apart from being rubbish in actual footy.
Mate, I nearly done
They
your
got-
mob.
They had Brandon Wakeham back last week, a guy I had at the start of the season. Disappointed they didn't just keep him the whole time. They might have done a bit better. But yeah, he's back. He did all right last week. Someone I'm really keen on, I don't know about you boys, but Jake Averillo at
Yes, of
centre
course.
scored good last week.
He's one of the targets this
Cheap
week.
has a -10 break even, I
Negative
believe.
10, yep.
I'm gonna guess. So yeah, he's a really good potential.
I think
buy
his
this
job
week.
security is pretty good too, Jacko.
Yeah, is he? Have they come and just is it presumed he's locked in for the time being?
I don't really see anyone taking his spot. So
And his goal kicking
Nick
too.
Meaney is out. I mean, he was a winger anyway, but just
Wing
whether
fullback,
that.
yeah.
So I think that he's done his thing. Ramus Smith back to the wing as well for Christian Crichton. So I think I'm pretty who knows with the Bulldogs really, but I think that's their back five that they really want to go with. Hopewadi, another one
He
you probably
played
look
good,
at for
eh?
centre. Probably
just played good.
a little more basey. Latrell I think is probably a
Yeah.
one, but yeah, Averillo for me is probably one of the better cheapies coming
get
up,
in
and I
this
think
week,
especially minus 10. But obviously, it's hard to trust a Bulldog side, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, that pretty much rounds out the team list.
God help us with that TLT.
Yeah, it's a bit of a rubbish one this week. So let's move into the trades. It took me I was looking at the trades for 3 hours yesterday trying to figure out who the bloody I could get in. So
So who's the most traded in this week, Dan? Do we have
give
that
give
little
the people some
And we'll
some
see
idea.
whether
You
we'll
want,
be
you want
going
some
after him.
stats?
Yeah.
I'll
Got
go
top 5. Who's getting
top
traded
5
in?
most traded in is Fatusu Nua. Sorry, I don't know how to spell it.
Tessie New.
Tessie
Tessie
New
New.
from the Bronx. Then it goes Latrell Mitchell into Sione Matautia. That's something we've been looking at,
Yeah.
Jacko. KP, of course, and Xavier Coates on the wing for the Bronx. So they're the most 5
Five.
looked at players. And who's not hot? Tommy Turvo, of course.
to
Katoa,
be.
as we mentioned
Has to
before.
be.
Patrick Carrigan, which we're a bit surprised
Dunno,
about.
That's
Hold,
that's
yeah.
lunacy
Even
for a week.
Alex Twell's up there.
Well,
and,
Alex Twell, you've got to
and
for
Corey
6 weeks.
Pakes. Corey Pakes.
Yeah. Only
Pace is a sell. isn't it?
Pakes is a sell if
Yeah.
you can do it. Just you're not getting much cash for him. Carrigan, that's lunacy. It's 1 week.
People are selling Bradman Best too. He's the next one on that list.
That's
oh
crazy.
My God.
It's a week. You didn't even get dropped for
Oh,
injury.
yeah,
man.
1 week.
Like,
God.
So what's your trade-in targets this week, boys?
I think
Who you trading?
to be quite honest, it really comes down to me. I think for a lot of coaches, if Teddy gets a nod, that's really going to be a big difference for me. Mo Footawake is still near the top of my list for me. I
Yeah,
think
he's a
if
massive
you're going to
target.
get him, and he could be, I see him as an absolute keeper. So if you think that way, you're probably best to jump on now.
Can we
especially-
wait a week?
Well, you can.
For the wake up,
you-
he's
yeah.
only going to get a bit more expensive.
You can, but he'd be 27 against a
Bronx.
lightened Broncos pack. I mean, I don't know if you can really.
Yeah,
I
Um,
have to wait a week, but
Yeah,
I don't want to.
I think everyone has to wait a week just because of the damage control going on.
if things go my way, I can probably get him. Matauti is definitely a look-in for me, but I think I'm probably leaning towards a no for him. I don't know. It's definitely lookable. I've just got to work
Just
it out.
scared of getting knocked out
Yeah,
again.
Averillo's definitely one for me.
Yep.
I think he's a cut price keeper. Just the dogs just scared the shit out of me. And I'll be trading out most. I think the 3 I'm looking at trading out in my team is Katoa. I'm just not waiting 3 weeks for him, and who knows, it could be longer. Along with Pakes and Luai is an option for me too.
Pakes
I think he's
Luai,
peaked as
definitely
well.
Pakes.
So those are one of my options. I think if you're gonna get a cut price cash cow for me, it's Avarillo out of the ones we've mentioned. Just got the most potential at centre. The rest are a bit of a risky wing situation, and who knows with Croker at half.
What about you, Jackson? What's your ins and outs?
So I'm just trading to kind of cover my injured players this week in Turbo and Katoa. Like I said, looked at this for ages, but I think for Katoa, Matautia is probably one of the best options. Like his second row coverage along with centre. He's cheaper than Katoa, and his break even is fairly low. So he's a good swap in, and he can cover the centre role, potentially a keeper. If he doesn't get injured, happy days. And then to cover Turbo, I kind of had the option to upgrade to Ponga or downgrade to someone. So I decided to downgrade it to Avarillo from the Dogs. So bit of a downgrade, but it leaves me with 460 salary for next week.
Yeah,
pretty damn good.
And look, that's something where I want to be. But if the trades I'm looking at doing is under 50 for me. So
I'm in a bit of a struggle this week. So I'm going to be down a centre, and I have to play Rudolph straight up, which is not going to be that fun. But next week I'll be able to upgrade to 2 guns pretty much with that salary, which is good. So I think that's what I'll stick with.
Play the long game, baby.
What do you got, Dan?
For me, I need to be trade cautious because I've been trade happy this whole season. I've taken every opportunity that I've been given. So I'm going to be very careful, but I've got to have to make trades. So I'm thinking about Turbo and Pakes for me. Turpin's just too close to coming back. I think Pakes just won't get the minutes anymore.
Pakes is
gone, yeah.
Anyway, so.
And I'm going to downgrade Pakes to Avarillo. As you boys said before, he's got potential to make you some money. And Turbo to Matautia, as I do not have...
So you locked in with Matautia?
Trades.
I'm not locked in. I can still maybe have the potential to get Lolo, but I have to get... If I want Lolo, I have to get Tessie New, and I don't want that. So Matautia, for me, has a DPP and potentially make a bit of money.
Yeah, I think
I'm running out of trades.
I think I'm a little bit different, you boys. I've kind of got a bit of centre coverage, so it's not a necessity.
You don't have Turbo either, so that
I don't
kind
have
of...
Turbo, so it makes it a bit... But look, mate, I'm not crapping on Matautia. I really like him, but for me...
Hopefully injury-free since 93. Hopefully.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely all good trades.
Bit of a name drop, actually. Played against Matautia back in my younger days, so... Scored a try on him, but let's not... whose career got better?
Yeah, no, happy days. Let's move on. So moving on to the number 1 rules for this week. Let's start with you, Daniel. First number 1 rule. What is it?
My first number 1 rule, and I'm gonna be bold with you here, boys. I'm gonna go back to Mr. Tedesco.
Oh my freaking god! He's not even playing.
He'll play.
If he plays, he's just gonna come back and just go off. He's just gonna ham, but. Number 1 rule, Captain Teddy, if he doesn't get the role, doesn't get named, put the vice captain on Cleary to go off as well. So
you're just leaving Haas out against the Titans. I think that's crazy.
Oh, I forgot about Haas again. All the boys are back and he's getting reduced minutes. I just got to leave him off for now and Teddy for me.
Okay, I like it. Follow that if you will.
Very bold by me.
You got one, Jacko? You want me to go?
You go.
Number 1 rule for me, it's not that hard a one. Just keep your ear to the wall on the late mail before the games tick off, because you're gonna have to really watch your loops. Because I don't think Danny's playing, so I'll just go from there. But yeah, so if there was ever a week where you don't need to watch all the games, but just watch the
late mail,
that hour before when it comes through, who's not playing, definitely keep an eye on there, because you're gonna have to really watch that. So that's my number 1 rule. Not really a tip. I like Haas for a captain. I'll just jump on that bandwagon for all picking captains.
You can't go wrong.
Well, you can't. Well, how funny is it? Like, I will say this, just I know it's a bit of a digress, but Haas got 55 last week and we're all pissed off. Remember back like a year ago, if you got 55,
you were doing pretty good.
Like, yeah, let's go.
Yes.
But yeah, so but main one for me is just keep an ear out for the late mail and to see who doesn't play, to try and get those loops and everything. So yeah,
good rule there, Thomas. Jacko.
My number 1 rule this week is probably this is a bit of a weird one, but if your missus gives you a tip, maybe listen to it, because I got the tip 2 weeks ago to get Matautia over Best, and I said, nah, I'm going to trust my fantasy guts.
If I remember correctly, you said, "Shut up, woman, go make me a sandwich."
Similar to that.
Wouldn't
but
surprise me.
I got best instead of Matalia, and I kind of wish I didn't at this stage. So, yeah, if your missus gives you a hot tip on the fantasy, just listen to it for once, all right?
I like that. A
Yeah,
lot.
very good.
Well, what a good ep. I think we're all done, wrapped up. Any questions, obviously, hit us up on the socials, on Insta there. So,
Yeah, definitely.
and on the comments as well. We're happy to give our opinions. Whether they're right or not is another question. So, yeah.
Yeah, hopefully get Daniel back maybe
Yeah,
next week.
Daniel back next week.
Thanks, boys. Thanks for having me,
Jumping
first of
on.
all.
Yeah, happy to come back next week, maybe.
Oh, if the listeners want it, I'll
Mate,
give it to the listeners.
If you're up the top of the table, we should just
Head
get
to
whoever's
head.
on
If
top
I'm
of the
still
table.
fantasy
I am
relevant,
the overall leader, and I'm just getting ripped with friggin' draws. So let's not get me started here.
if I'm
Yeah.
still fantasy relevant, you'll see me back here, boys.
exactly right.
Yeah, no, happy days. Happy days.
So yeah,
Any or like we did last week, any bets this week either?
mate. Yeah, I'm Titans. I reckon Don anytime try scorer and the Titans to win.
Wow.
I think you're getting about $7-8 there.
I'd probably use a bonus bet for that. but-
No, I'm telling you right now, it's
Don't waste them
if
dollars.
the Titans. Here we go. If the Titans are going to win a game, it is this week. Let me just give you the
At
result
Suncorp?
tip. At Suncorp.
They do love Suncorp sometimes.
Yeah, mate. The
Yeah.
second last time we won a game was at Suncorp.
Mm.
So,
Yeah.
mate, my nipples are getting hard just talking about it. I'm
Oh.
just Anyway, let's move on.
Shock.
Yeah, no, fair enough. That pretty much wraps it up for episode 7. Again, thanks Daniel and Tom. Hopefully you can join us again next week. So yeah, thanks for listening.
Thanks, guys. See you next week.
week.
Eh? See you guys.